Oh, Andre, no problem. Let's talk about it. Afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me again. Sorry I wasn't here at 11. The computer didn't work. I have no idea why, so I just pushed it back till 12. We're all good now. How is everyone? I hope everyone's good. Everyone's good in the chat. Is everyone calm? Is everyone chilled? Is everyone relaxed and okay? I need to check everyone out. I need to make sure everyone right now is actually feeling okay, because, you know, Liverpool are not going for a player no more and everyone's freaking out. You know, I just need everyone to stay calm, stay chilled, drink your tea, drink your coffee, whatever it is you got in your hand. I was going to say whatever you got in your hand right now. No. Grab your drink. Let's all chill and calm down a little bit. People going way over the top. Right, let's get into it. So, obviously, we've been speaking on the channel for a while now about this DM position, about this number 6 position, and what are Liverpool going to do there. We've been talking about Andre quite a lot, because even I thought Liverpool would go by Andre, you know, and now it's not happening. So, news has come out today from David Lynch, who is extremely reliable, by the way, guys, that Liverpool are no longer interested in one Andre from Fluminense. They moved on. And apparently, what David Lynch is saying, they moved on when they got Gravenberch and Endo. They moved on. They wanted Andre in the summer. Andre said no, because he wanted to stay at Fluminense to win the Libertadores Cup, or whatever way you pronounce that trophy. So Liverpool moved on. They're like, we can't wait around. Now, if I remember rightly, right, and I'm going to go right in depth on this today, because too many people are moaning and complaining about the owners. This has got nothing on the owners, yeah. But last season, people moaned that we didn't get our number 1 targets, and then never went and got our number 2 targets. All right, last season, that's what everyone moaned about. So this season, Andre was our number 1 target. That's the news coming out right now. Andre was Liverpool's number 1 target. They wanted him. Liverpool couldn't get him. So this time, Liverpool moved on and went and got Ryan Gravenberch. So, you know, Liverpool learned their lessons. I've been seeing on Twitter today, oh, Liverpool yet again never learn their lessons, never do this, never do that, never learn anything to do. How about that? We did. And here's another one for everyone in the chat. Why does everyone think that Liverpool saw Andre as a defensive midfielder? Do you think they saw him as a left-sided midfielder, a bit like Thiago plays for Liverpool on that left-hand side with a 3, and they went and got Ryan Gravenberch instead? Maybe that's the case, guys. We moved on. We learnt our lessons. I'm not going into meltdown behind this because obviously Liverpool got other targets in mind. Big up Sam in the chat. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Big up to you. You know, this has got nothing to do with the owners because, by the way, guys, this transfer is easy to do. It's a small transfer fee. It's it's small in wages. You know, it's got nothing to do about budget or financial reasons. The reason we haven't going for Andre this January, it's just that Liverpool moved on. No, Liverpool moved on. Would I like to Andre at Liverpool? Of course I would. I've been talking about him for a long time now. But Liverpool obviously didn't see him as a defensive midfielder, which, by the way, a lot of you in the chat, you never saw him as a defensive midfielder. You always kept saying that he's not really a 6. So maybe Liverpool thought the same as you. They were looking for someone like a Thiago-esque like player that can play on that left side of the midfield. And Liverpool moved on and went and got Ryan Gravenberch. We can't really complain. We can't really moan about it. The thing is, all us Liverpool fans in our heads got it that he's a DM, we go buy him as a defensive midfielder. Even me, I thought, we're buying him as a defensive midfielder. And I think everyone sort of felt the same thing, and that's why everyone's a little angry online at the moment and moaning and blaming, everyone else for the that we're not getting him. But in reality, if you look at the summer transfer market, the beginning of the summer transfer market, Liverpool obviously really liked Andre. They were obviously really liked him. I remember when rumours come out about Andre and rumours came out about him and no one knew who this guy was. None of us knew who he was. And it's like, well, this come out of nowhere. Who's this guy? We're all Googling him, trying to find out information. And Liverpool were going for him. We're reading now that he was Liverpool's #1 summer transfer target, right, in that midfield area. But he said no to us because he wanted to stay at Fluminense. And I honour that. I respect that. I actually respect that. When a player decides, you know what, Fluminense could win their first ever trophy, this Libertadores trophy. They could win it for the first time. I want to be part of that. And my season finishes in December. I can honour that and I can actually praise him for that. Big up to Andre for doing that, yeah? But Liverpool moved on. Liverpool moved on in the transfer market and went and got Ryan Gravenberch. So for me, it looks like Liverpool saw Andre as a left-sided midfielder. After reading all the articles today, after reading all the articles that have come out just now, that's what it seems like to me. They never saw him as that defensive-minded midfielder like we all thought he would be. And if we all think about it deep down now, it does make sense. We don't need too many of the same player. You know, we don't need too many of the same player in our squad. That don't make sense. You need different kind of players in that area. We don't need Andre, Ryan Gravenberch, and Curtis Jones and Thiago as like 4 left-sided midfielders at all. You know, we don't need too many of the same thing. We need different options in that area. And Liverpool moved on in the summer, guys. I think it's quite as simple as that. That's why I'm cool and calm about this. You know, this is not. So Bruno's saying that was 5 months wasted. It weren't 5 months from Liverpool, my man. Liverpool moved forward in the summer. Liverpool moved on and bought Ryan Gravenberch. They haven't been looking at Andre since then. I think this is what us fans think. This is what us fans think. Because we have no idea what's going on at the football club. And by the way, rightly so. None of us should know what's going on at the football club transfer-wise. It shouldn't be out there for the world to read. And we all know the information going on. And because we don't know, Liverpool went for Andre in the summer. Andre said no. He wanted to stay at Fluminense. Liverpool went, okay then, no worries. They moved on and went and got Gravenberch instead. So there hasn't been 5 months wasted on the Liverpool point of view. They went and replaced their man straight away. One bloke said no. They went and replaced him and got Ryan Gravenberch instead. And we moved on. at this moment in time, what I'm reading, that is what I can understand from it. Unless more articles come out while we're live or come out tomorrow or anything like that, that lets us know about anything else, then we'll move on. It says here there's more articles coming out. Andre decided to stay at Fluminense, and Liverpool went on to sign with Tyro Endo and Gravenberch. So Liverpool moved on. Simple as that. Liverpool moved on, and I don't see a problem. I don't see an issue with it. You know, if they've moved on, they've moved on. I don't really mind the issue. And at the same time, look, these things maybe not. These things might not be true as well. You know, Liverpool might still be in for Andre in January. You know, there might be a thing like David Lynch has put out this article. Look, David Lynch is a very good journalist, and he gets a lot of things right. To David Lynch's credit, he's very, very reliable. But if it is the case that Liverpool have moved on and they went and got a Gravenberch and a Wataru Endo and they moved on when he said no, can we all admit one thing, that Liverpool learnt their lesson from the year before? You know, Liverpool literally learnt their lesson the year before. And when their top target wasn't available, what did we do? We didn't buy anyone. We didn't buy nobody. So at least one thing is to say, Liverpool learnt their lesson. Andre said no. Liverpool went, all right, and we'll go and get Wataru Endo and Gravenberch instead. We'll go and get them and bring them into the club. So at least Liverpool learnt their lesson. Now, people will go to me, but Jamie, yeah, Liverpool learnt their lesson, but they bought the wrong players. You know, Wataru Endo's not Liverpool quality. And I'm not disagreeing with that. But at least we've got numbers in that midfield and not left caught short like we were last season. I think we can at least admit that we're not caught short like we were last season. Nothing's concrete, as Alexander in the chat says. Nothing's concrete. I mean, if Paul Joyce comes out of a tweet sometime today, guys, and says, yeah, Liverpool are no longer interested in Andre, I think we can all just wrap this up in a nice little bow, put it to the side and forget about it. But it's going to be a wait and see game. But by the look of it, Liverpool didn't see Andre as this number 6 midfielder. They might have seen him as something different. And us fans, me included, I mean, I was big on this, thought Andre was coming in to be that number 6. We all got sucked in a little bit. There's nothing wrong with getting sucked into transfers and thinking we're going to go with something that the club think differently. The club think differently. Now, this brings me on to the next thing. Alexis McAllister. Now, I've been saying this for a while now, and people keep knocking me back on it. But does Jurgen Klopp actually see Alexis McAllister as a defensive-minded footballer? Now, if we're going off on what we've seen now and what the evidence in front of us, guys, let's look at the evidence in front of us in the chat right now, guys. Let's look at the evidence in front of us. The only midfielder in our team that is available that plays plays in that number 6 position is Alexis McAllister. No other player. Yeah, he could go over Gravenberch if he wanted to, but he doesn't. Could even put Curtis Jones there if he wanted to, but he doesn't. Yeah, everyone that's available, it's McAllister who plays there. Has Klopp always seen him as a defensive-minded footballer? And when I mean defensive-minded, I don't mean that number 6 position or anything like that. Just more of what Klopp sees in him, more than what, you know. I'll put this to everyone in the chat right now. Answer me this: yes or no? Do you think Liverpool will let Alexis McAllister play with more freedom at Liverpool like he did at Brighton or Argentina, or would he be more restricted at Liverpool to a defensive position, no matter who we got in our team? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat what you think, because I think it's really interesting in the McAllister situation. I think it really is. Now, if Klopp persists on playing Alexis McAllister as the defensive midfielder, whose fault is that? In the chat, whose fault is that? Let me know. Because my StreamYard's not working. I'll have to look at my YouTube for comments. McAllister is not 6, says Bruno. Angel says, no, he isn't mobile enough. I agree. I don't disagree with anyone. I don't disagree with any of you guys. But whose fault is that? Taro Endo is literally there as a defensive midfielder. Does Klopp just see it differently to what we do? Let's go back to the Gini Wijnaldum. Let's go back a few years to Gini Wijnaldum, yeah? We saw the Gini Wijnaldum that played at Newcastle. We saw the Gini Wijnaldum that plays for the Dutch national team. We've seen the Gini Wijnaldum that played at Feyenoord. We've seen that Gini Wijnaldum at more of attack-minded midfield Gini Wijnaldum, yeah? Who can play in that central midfield area but has more freedom. He's allowed to run into the box and score goals and crosses, long-range efforts, all this sort of stuff, yeah? Can even play sort of on the wing as well in attacking areas. What did Liverpool do to Gini Wijnaldum? And for the better, by the way, because we won things under Gini Wijnaldum, so I'm not blaming anyone for this, but Klopp changed Gini's style a little bit. He made him a little bit more defensive, made him protect the football, help the team press forward into midfield. So he restricted Gini a little bit of his attacking qualities that Gini is known to have, you know. So I look at McAllister now in that same sort of similar way. Klopp, we all watch McAllister for Argentina. We all watch McAllister at Brighton. Sometimes, most of the time, having more freedom than he does at Liverpool Football Club right now. Getting into the box, playing on the edge of the box, you know, getting into wide areas, attacking areas of the pitch, and having a massive influence in the midfield. Yeah? Right now, he plays a more restricted role, like Gini. McAllister and Gini Wijnaldum, they're not defensive midfielders. And I'm not saying McAllister should play the 6. And I don't think he will going forward. He'd be more of a defensive-minded player, like the way Gini became. That is what Klopp sees McAllister as, a ball-progressing, defensive-minded footballer who can get the ball in deep areas and get the ball progressing quickly, can break up play, protect the ball, and control the tempo of the game, i.e. like a Gini Wijnaldum did. You know, that's what Klopp sees in him. And if that's what Klopp sees in him, and we're not going to get the McAllister that everyone really wants, I mean, McAllister will get better in his Liverpool team once he gets down this new role that he's got. Once McAllister starts to learn the new role he's got, he will start to have a little bit more freedom in his play. But right now, he's restricted in his role. And who are we blaming for that? And I'm not saying Gini played as a lone DM. And I don't think McAllister will play as a lone DM going forward either. What I'm saying is I think Klopp's looking for that nice blend in midfield where, you know, all the midfielders defend as a team. They defend as a unit, like Liverpool used to do. Because if you actually go back, because I've been doing this lately, going back and watching old Liverpool games under Jurgen Klopp with that midfield of Wijnaldum, Fabinho and Henderson, yeah? If you actually go back and watch them games, Fabinho weren't always a lone 6. I think it's a bit of a myth. He weren't always a lone 6. You know, Henderson would do a lot of dirty defensive duties that went unnoticed. Gini Wijnaldum would do a lot of dirty defensive duties that went unnoticed. Also, Mane used to defend. Salah used to defend. Bobby Firmino used to defend. You know, the defending came everywhere. Fabinho weren't always that lone 6 every game. Some games he was, depending on the opposition. But he always weren't that lone 6. Because if you think about it, if Fabinho was always that lone six and we was always playing this with this attacking football that we always concede chances with, he wouldn't have been able to get around the pitch like he did. So it's interesting to me, the McAllister situation. It really is. I think he sees McAllister as that, a player that could play in the midfield three. I think if he went and got a DM, say he just plays with Taro Endo tomorrow, yeah, and he play, it'd be interesting in the Brentford game. When if Taro Endo plays that DM role, and then McAllister comes back for the City game, and you got Taro Endo and McAllister and Szoboszlai, yeah. I'm telling you right now, I think Szoboszlai to be the more attack-minded player in our midfield for the balance of the team, and McAllister will play that genie role on that left-hand side of the midfield. He will play that genie role where he's a little bit more restricted and can get forward when he can. Because I've been saying this for a while, our midfield always looks disjointed when it's McAllister in the six, Gravenberch and Szoboszlai, because they're all too similar. They're all too similar. They all want to do the same thing. So our midfield always looks a bit disjointed. When Curtis Jones plays on the left, with Szoboszlai on the right of the midfield and then McAllister in the six, there's more balance to our midfield because all three don't want to do the same thing. Curtis Jones and McAllister are a bit more defensive-minded in the way they play than, say, Gravenberch and Szoboszlai are together. So you got a little bit more balance in your midfield. Do you see what I'm trying to say, guys? So I'm not saying McAllister should play the number six, but I understand why he's playing the number six right now, because that's what Klopp sees his defensive tendencies in his game to play that way. And also he's good at getting on the ball and getting the ball moved quickly in transition. He's good at getting the ball out. So I can I can understand why Klopp's playing him there right now, but for the future, you have got to get a DM in that position. And I think if you get a DM in that position, you play McAllister on the left and Szoboszlai on the right, that gives us the best balance in our midfield. Because McAllister's got that defensive-minded quality about him. Szoboszlai can do that attacking game that we want to see him play, a bit more freedom in his play. And then you've got the defensive midfielder. So you've got a lovely little balance in that midfield three. Right now, our midfield three is out of balance at times. And that's the issue. And the other thing, like my man put up here, unpopular opinion, should have signed a DM instead of Ryan Gravenberch. Look, to be fair, we did buy a DM in Taro Endo, but I understand what you're saying, my friend, because you want a higher quality defensive midfielder. But then that's who's that to blame, guys? Who's to blame? See, we're always very quick at blaming the owners, and me too, I agree. But I don't know if we can blame the owners on this one. I really don't. See, I get people in my comments the other day telling me Klopp's in charge of everything, yeah? Because I said, the way this midfield has been bought, the new players we bought in this midfield, you got to, my FSG apology video I did the other day, guys, yeah? When I spoke on that and said, you've got to give the owners some credit and the scouting team some credit for rebuilding this midfield this summer and the players they went and bought and scouted and got in because they've improved our midfield. And people at the end of that video, go back and look at it, guys. It's in the comments below that video, yeah? People below that having a go at me and saying it's got nothing to do with the owners. It's all on Klopp. Klopp tells his scouts and that what players to go and get, what ones he wants. So if that's the case, what everyone's telling me right now, then we can't blame the owners for all this, can we? I'm just saying that right now. I'm just saying that right now. You can't go and blame. You can't go and blame the owners for all this. As far as everyone looking into it, Liverpool rebuilt their midfield in the summer, and I think we're all happy with the midfield we got now, pretty much. Yeah, the players we got are far better than the midfield we had last season or the season before. far, far better. It's our best midfield since Klopp came to Liverpool, in my opinion, right? Since the Wijnaldum, Fabinho and Henderson midfield. This is our best midfield since then, by a country mile. So they rebuilt the midfield in the summer. But people are saying it was all down to Jurgen Klopp. You know, people in them comments were having a go at me, saying I don't know what I'm talking about, and it was all down to Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp's the one who rebuilt this midfield. He's the one who told the scouts to go and check Gravenberch. You know, go and have a look at Szoboszlai, go and look at McAllister. So if that is the case, guys, and we are a DM short, like everyone keeps telling me, then who's to blame? Who's to blame? Who's to blame for McAllister keep being the number 6 in our midfield, guys? Like, literally. Now, I know everyone's talking about Stefan Bajcetic in the chat. And I rate Stefan. But do you think it's a bit unfair for Stefan to just be at 18, 19 years of age, who only played a handful of games last season in his professional debut, then to be told, you're going to be my starting defensive midfielder next season? That's a lot of pressure on the young lad. You know, he had a handful of games last season. It was his pro debut, you know, as a professional coming into the Premier League. He did really well. We all rate Stefan highly. We all love the kid, yeah? But then to go around and say the following season, go to him, right, you're going to be my defensive midfielder next season. It's a lot of pressure on the young kid. It's a lot of pressure on the young kid. Really is. And also, he got injured before the end of the season, didn't he? So we knew he was a defensive midfielder light. So he got injured before the end of the season. He weren't really ready for pre-season. We sold Fabinho. So straight away, we're a defensive midfielder light. And Klopp wanted Wataru Endo. I know everyone's going to bring up the Caicedo stuff. Now, the Caicedo stuff's a bit weird. I don't know if we'll ever really get to the bottom of it. But what we know, because this is what we've been told and we can read and everyone can hear and use their eyes and ears, is that Billy Hogan was doing the Caicedo deal. Billy Hogan wanted Caicedo at Liverpool when he thought he saw a chance where Chelsea's bid got rejected. Billy Hogan saw a chance to go and get Caicedo. He thought he'd be the perfect player. Now, did Jurgen Klopp want Caicedo? To this day, I'm not too sure. To this day, I'm not too sure. The Lavia deal, Liverpool didn't think Lavia was worth 60 million. Only playing his first ever season in professional football the year before, and with a relegated Southampton, Liverpool didn't see him as worth 60 million. And I believe a lot of people in the chat, when we did them videos, also said the same thing. It's like, yeah, Lavia for 60 million is not worth it. We'll right to pull out that deal. So you look at them two scenarios. Liverpool, Billy Hogan should never have gone for Caicedo. He should have. He's the one who held on to that, by the way. No, he didn't put it was Billy Hogan who took the bid. He kept that bid in there and in there and in there. Now, they thought they saw a chance. Did Liverpool want him? I don't know. I really don't know. Klopp to this day, I've never seen Jurgen Klopp more unhappy at Liverpool potentially buying a player in my whole life than when about the Caicedo deal was happening. So I'm not sure if he really wanted him. I don't know. We're never going to know about that. It's, people go about conspiracy theories about that transfer. People go talk about that transfer like it was all, it was PR and all this sort of stuff. But, if it was PR, it's the worst PR of all time because we never bought him, guys. So if that was a conspiracy, it's a terrible conspiracy because, Liverpool never bought him. I don't know. The happiest I've ever seen Jurgen Klopp is with Wataru Endo. I ain't going to lie. I'm not going to lie. Wataru, guys, I beg you. I beg you all, go back and watch the Liverpool videos they put on Twitter and Instagram and all that. Go back and watch them little 2-minute video clips that Liverpool Football Club put out of Jurgen Klopp meeting with Tyro Endo for the first time when he came to Liverpool in the summer. And the way he was smiling, laughing, he couldn't believe he got his man. And what did he say to Wataru Endo? We need your legs. That is what he said to him. We need your legs in this team because we play so offensively. We play so offensively. We need your legs in this midfield. I bet Wataru Endo was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, he needs me in this midfield. Wataru Endo must have been on cloud nine. He must have been sitting there going, Jesus Christ. Jurgen Klopp, this manager, got me into this football club and then tells me he needs my legs because this midfield is too offensive. He must have been on cloud bloody nine. And then he's like, and then Klopp's like, no, actually, I don't need his legs. I don't need to play him at all, actually. It's just, go back and watch these videos, guys. Go back on social media and to the summer. Go and find them all. They're all there. Everything is on video, guys. All the proof's in front of us. The press conference when we signed Wataru Endo. How happy was Jurgen Klopp, guys? Like, literally, how happy was this guy? Chatting about him, talking about Wataru Endo. He was I've never seen Jurgen Klopp so happy about talking about a footballer, ever. He wasn't this happy talking about McAllister, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, but talk about Wataru Endo. Klopp was all, he's better than what people think. What else did he say? Because he's not a big name, don't think he's not a good footballer. He's a tremendous footballer. And he'll be brilliant for us. This is what Klopp was saying. And we're like, all right, Jurgen, if this is what you want, if this is what you want, then go for it. And and I'm happy with that. If that's what I've been saying for a while now. If Jurgen wants players, then these owners should let Jurgen get the players he wants. I've been saying this for a while now. And if the owners are clever about it, I've been saying this as well. If the owners are clever about it, just get the manager the players he wants. And if it don't work, then it comes down to one person. Yeah. So we got this DM issue in our midfield right now because we're pretty much well balanced in this midfield right now, all apart from one position. So that's rewind all the way back to the summer. First person through the door was Alexis McAllister. And we was all happy with this transfer. I couldn't wait for that transfer. And when I found out we bought him for 35 million quid, I was like, this is a tremendous bit of business. Beautiful bit of business. And then it went a bit quiet for a few weeks, didn't it? It went quiet for a few weeks. And then out of nowhere, bang, Liverpool bought Dominic Szoboszlai. And it's like, where did that come from? I didn't even know we was in for Dominic Szoboszlai. No one did, apart from K-Mac. Big up the K-Mac. But no one knew we was in for Dominic Szoboszlai. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, bang, Liverpool progressing with Dominic Szoboszlai, medical booked for the next day, blah, 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 blah. No one saw it coming. So Liverpool fans are now, well, okay. So we've got Alexis McAllister and Dominic Szoboszlai. Who's next? Then rumours started happening. Rumours started coming up on social media. Liverpool are after this guy called Andre from Fluminense, who's 22 years of age. And nobody, and I mean nobody, ever heard of him. But a lot of Liverpool fans were happy because we've been wanting to look in the South American market for time. For a long time, we've been wanting to look in the South American market. And all of a sudden, that club are. And they found a player that none of us ever heard of, yeah? And then we're all Googling him, watching clips on YouTube and all this stuff, trying to come up with things about him. Then a lot of people were talking about Andre, saying, oh, he's a number 6. He plays in that number 6 position. And then a lot of people were saying he's not really a number 6. He can play there, but he's not the 6 that Liverpool really want. And in our heads, all Liverpool fans are like, no, it's a DM. And then he decides to stay at Fluminense. He decides, you know what, I'm going to stay at Fluminense, try and win the cup. They've never won it. I want to stay here. I want to honour the manager at Fluminense. And I respect that. Much love to that. I respect it. So Liverpool decided to move on. And who did they go and buy? Within a space of a couple of days, with Tyro Endo and Ryan Gravenberch. All the evidence is there, guys. All the evidence is there. Liverpool this season will go buy Szoboszlai, McAllister, and Andre. They were the three main choices Liverpool wanted to make in this midfield this summer. Once we got told that Liverpool were going to turn their attentions away from Bellingham because they needed to rebuild this midfield, we was like, fine. And their three options were McAllister, Szoboszlai, and Andre. By the sounds of it, what I'm reading right now, and the evidence I can go back to in the summer with all the transfer news and all that, it looks like they're the three Liverpool wanted. They're the three players that Liverpool went and wanted badly. They got two of them. Andre said no. So what did Liverpool do? They learnt their lesson, and they went and got Wataru Endo and Ryan Gravenberch in. So they learnt their lesson. Now, if they were going originally for Andre, and this is where the DM talk starts again. And I keep asking you guys, did Liverpool see McAllister as always being a defensive-minded footballer? This is where I keep coming up with it because the evidence is there again. Let's look at it. McAllister was the first one brought through the door. Then at Szoboszlai, they went for Andre. Didn't get him. Went and got Endo and Ryan Gravenberch. Now, they needed Endo because Fabinho left. But they were trying to get Andre before Fabinho left. Before Fabinho was going for sale. Before anyone knew Fabinho was going to leave this football club. They're trying to get Andre. So, I don't know. I think they saw Andre more as a Thiago-esque kind of footballer. And I'm not saying he's similar to Thiago, but I think they see a footballer there that is good at protecting the ball, good at ball progression, and he's aggressive in midfield. I think that's what they saw. And that doesn't necessarily mean a defensive-minded footballer. That doesn't actually mean a number 6. But it's like, look at the way Thiago plays at Liverpool, guys. I keep talking about this, right? Look at the way Thiago plays at Liverpool and compare the way Thiago played at Barcelona and Bayern Munich. Compare the way Klopp plays Thiago at Liverpool compared to everyone else played him at Bayern Munich and Barcelona. It's completely different. We restrict him more. He's more defensive-minded. He has to run more. Remember, Thiago last season came out and said Jurgen Klopp showed him how to run. And that was a weird comment. But what he meant by that is that Thiago's never had to run much in his life. Because he plays in a double pivot, especially in his whole career at Bayern Munich, where he's most successful. He played in a double pivot, and that was his whole career. So, I don't know. And people keep thinking of when I say defensive-minded footballer, guys, I don't mean the number 6 position, guys. I'm not just meaning the number 6 position when I say defensive midfielder. So, like Fozzie says, McAllister was told he's going to play on the right-hand side. Yeah, that can't be true because we went and bought Szoboszlai, who plays on the right-hand side. So, first of all, that can't be true. There was obviously a change in what they saw. But secondly, you can play on the left or right of a midfield 3 and still be defensive. Do you know what I'm saying, guys? You can still be defensively minded as a footballer. It doesn't mean, because McAllister's going to play on the left side of midfield, he's going to be more of an attacking-minded player now because he's playing on that left-hand side. He could still be restricted in his play and be a left-sided midfielder that's defensive. He doesn't have to be the number 6. Do you see what I'm saying? McAllister said it, mate. Well, McAllister was obviously wrong because they went and bought Szoboszlai. McAllister's never played on the right side of midfield. So I'm only looking at the evidence, guys. I mean, everyone can come at me what people said and what people were saying, but I am literally looking at the evidence, guys. We all watched the game. Every one of us watched Liverpool games week in, week out. The evidence is right in front of us. The evidence has been in front of us for the last 7 years. The evidence has been in front of us for the last 7 years. Gini Wijnaldum came into Liverpool and was restricted and became more defensively minded in our midfield three. Fact or no fact? Yeah? It's just the way it is. Klopp wants to play a particular way. He wants his midfield to be balanced and defensively minded. And also, that's why we don't play over 10. You know, everyone keeps going, why don't we play a double pivot and play one in front? Because Klopp has come out again in press conferences in pre-season in the summer and said counter press is the way Liverpool always go to play. Under Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool always go to play counter pressing. All the time. We go to play counter pressing. So we never go to play over 10 because he said my counter press is a 10. So we don't need to literally play at a number 10 in that position because we play counter-pressing football. We'll always go play counter-pressing football under Jurgen Klopp. So if you go play counter-pressing football under Jurgen Klopp, your midfield as a unit needs to be balanced defensively and attackingly. Does that make sense, guys? So you can't have freedom in that midfield under Jurgen Klopp like everyone wants certain players to be. So McAllister will be a bit restricted. You won't see the attack-minded McAllister. You will on occasions. Once McAllister gets more used to his role, once McAllister gets more used to the position he's playing, he will start to pick up more attacking positions, a bit like Gini did. But he still will be a bit more withdrawn, a bit more restricted. And Klopp will train him, and Klopp will coach him to be a different kind of player, like he did Gini. No, he coached Gini to be a different kind of midfielder for us, right? And it was tremendous. And I believe it will work for Alexis McAllister given time. But we need the right balance in midfield right now. So when I keep saying defensive-minded player, guys, I'm not saying about the lone six. Let me know in the chat if you understand what I'm trying to say, because sometimes I find it hard to get my words out. But put a yes or no in the live chat right now if you understand what I'm trying to say about the McAllister situation, guys. I need your say on this. I need your say. Let's read. Big up Faisal. Calvin Phillips is available, Jamie. Now, I said yesterday on Coppish, and I said that I think Liverpool are looking at Calvin Phillips. I really do. I think Liverpool would be looking at him, but there's just no way. I don't think he's 27 now, isn't he? He's a lot older than everyone thinks. I don't think Liverpool. I think Jurgen Klopp wants that age player, but I don't think that's what we're going down with now. So I don't think Calvin Phillips will come to Liverpool. I'll be very shocked if he does. Look, if we went and got the Calvin Phillips as at Leeds, and before all the injuries, I'll be happy with that. But the injuries, not playing under Pep Guardiola and all that, and the trouble he's had over there with his weight and stuff like that and his fitness, I just don't see any sense in Liverpool buying him. I really don't. I think Calvin Phillips needs to go to a team like West Ham or something like that. I think that'd be perfect for him to get his career back started. You can't get your career back started playing for Liverpool. You need to go somewhere like West Ham or something like that to get his career back going again. I think Liverpool are looking for younger midfielders. I think Liverpool are looking for 21, 22, 23 age range. 24. I think Liverpool are looking between 20 and 24 for their midfielder. I think that's what Liverpool are looking for. Anyone aged between that 20 and 24-year age gap. So, guys, in the chat right now, give me some players you think Liverpool might be looking for in that DM role between the ages of 20 and 24. No, Liverpool said no, my man. Yeah, Liverpool. Andre said no in the summer because he wanted to stay at Fluminense to try and win the trophy. And I respect that. But then he was available. Then he said, come and get me in the winter, basically. But Liverpool decided to turn their attention to other players. They said we couldn't wait. I don't think we'll sign a DM in January because the midfield would be structured at their centre mid. For example, you'd have Ryan, Curtis Jones, McAllister. They can't start. Szoboszlai is locked in at right centre mid and it is back up. I agree with that. That's what I've been saying. Pick up my man. That's what. Yeah, big up Angel. Macra, Basuma, and Caicedo in midfield at Brighton. You want a DM? You should have got Basuma. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. It's going to be interesting. Dan Fofana is out of contract and saying, what a bargain. Tony Cruz, eh? Tony Cruz would be interesting, but Tony Cruz is available. Tony Cruz is available, and I think it could be a transfer Liverpool could do. I've heard a lot of rumours about Tony Cruz. Tony Cruz wants to go to the Premier League, apparently. So I know Tottenham have been interested in him as well. I don't know Tony Cruz, I don't know. Is he quick enough? Is Tony Cruz quick enough for the Premier League? I'm not sure. He's the best passer in world football for me. But he's a tremendous passer. If Klopp wants someone who can sit there deep in a deep position and get that ball quickly moving from a deep position and move it forward quickly, then Tony Cruz is your man. Tony Cruz is your man. That's the player Liverpool should be looking at. If Jurgen Klopp wants a defensive-minded midfielder who can just sit there and get the ball back and get the ball moving forward quickly and sharp passing, get the passing, and pass out wide, pass centrally, cool under pressure, good footballer. If that's what Jurgen Klopp's looking at, go and get Tony Cruz. There's no better player in the world that can do that. Go and get Tony Cruz. That is that Liverpool. If that's what Jurgen Klopp's thinking of, he's available. Cruz is available. Klopp loves Zelensky. How many years have we been on for this guy? And he's at the right. I think he's at the right age gap, ain't he? I think he's at the right age. Yeah, Genie was gold, man. I think we all see what Genie was now. Yeah, Genie was gold. And as I say, I'm not Jurgen Klopp bashing either. I'm not having to go at Jurgen Klopp. As everyone knows, this season I'm proper happy with Jurgen Klopp this year. I think he's doing a great job. He's got us back into what we're doing now because the owners have gave him the players he needs. We're just this one player short. This one player short, and I'm just trying to work out, like you guys are in the chat as well, what's the thinking at the football club right now? What is the thinking? As I said, I think he sees McAllister as more a defensive-minded player. Doesn't mean that he plays the number 6. I must state that again, guys. When I say a defensive-minded player, Gini Wijnaldum in Liverpool's team was more of a defensive-minded footballer than he was an attacking footballer, weren't he? That's what I mean by it. I don't mean a sole number 6, and I think that's what he sees. He wants his midfield three to have balance defensively and attackingly. And we haven't really got that at the moment. And that's why McAllister's playing the 6 right now, because everyone in our team, he's the most able to do it. So that tells you everything you need to know right there. So with this one player short, with Tyro Endo, is it just a fact that Klopp does absolutely love this guy and does absolutely rate him, but he just wanted to take his time with him? Because McAllister's played in the Premier League before. So Bosley was only 22 when we bought him, and he's a complete athlete, a complete athlete. And also, Szoboszlai is losing his way a little bit lately, and Endu's 30, who's played in Germany most of his career. It's a different world. It's a different world, the Premier League. So and plus, Endu's job is more. It's such a structured position. The defensive midfield position is such an important position to your team. Szoboszlai and McAllister and that can get away, and Gravenberch and that can get away being really young, 21, 22, 23, and being athletes, that their job is completely different to being a defensive midfielder. It's such an important role, and such a role you have to learn how to play under a Jurgen Klopp side, that Fabinho went through the same issue. And I think Endu's going through the same issue. So maybe Klopp is just taking his time with Wataru Endo, and it will happen eventually. And Wataru Endo will be the DM for Liverpool going forward to the rest of the season, in my opinion, once he's got up to scratch. It'd be interesting to see what we do in January. If Liverpool don't go and buy a defensive midfielder in January, guys, I think we have our answers. You know, we go and buy another midfielder who's not a bloody DM, and we're like, everyone be sitting there like, I don't get it. You know, I can see this happening as well. Liverpool go and buy a midfielder in January that's not a defensive midfielder, and everyone be like, I don't understand what we're doing. Why aren't we buying a DM? The position we obviously need in this team. Why? What are we doing here? It's going to be interesting. I don't know who Klopp wants in that role. It couldn't have been Andre because we wouldn't have walked away. You know, we walked away from Andre. Liverpool have walked away from Andre. And before anyone starts, it's not a financial reason, okay? I'll be shocked if it's a financial reason why we're not going for Andre this summer. That would be a shock to me. It really would. You know, I'd be shocked if I just don't see. It's a weird one to me. I mean, I'm not getting bent up out of shape about it. I'm not really getting hurt about it. I'm not too bothered by it either. It's just not. No, it's not. It's not an issue. A lot of content creators are out there who just go and slag the owners off because it's easier to do. You know, oh, this is why we're not getting him A, B, and C. We didn't get him because of this. We didn't get him because of that. You know, it's just cheap options, financial options. You know, why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? We always go cheap option. Sometimes we do, but there's a philosophy at this football club. Yeah, this football club have a philosophy in the players they look for and buy. And I haven't got a problem with any of the players we bought this summer. You know, if anyone goes and tells me Ryan Gravenberch, we shouldn't have bought Ryan Gravenberch because he's 32.5 million. We should have gone and got a midfielder no one's ever heard of and paid 75 million for him. And then fans would have come out and went, that's ambition. Because you bought a player that no one's ever heard of and they saw watch twice in their whole life and gone, yeah, he's all right, he's a good player. And then we paid 75 million for him. Everyone on Twitter will be like, that's a great option. You know, that's showing ambition. You know, I remember when Liverpool fans up and down the country wanted Liverpool to buy Anthony before Man United. Oh, Anthony would be a great backup to Mo Salah. Tremendous player. He's got all the tricks, all the dribbling. He's beautiful to watch at Ajax and all that. And, you know, now everyone takes a piss. Now everyone's like, no, thank God we didn't buy him. He's dirt. He's trash. He's crap. He's not a nice person. All this sort of stuff. You know? I'm happy with Gravenberch for 32.5 million. He's going to be a quality footballer for us. You know, Szoboszlai is going to be a quality footballer. McAllister will be a quality footballer for us, guys. It's just that one missing piece. It's that one missing piece of the puzzle. That's what's missing. Polinia's the one. I like Polinia, but Polinia's not. He's not a good enough footballer, if that makes sense. Now that might sound harsh, but Polinia is a tremendous defensive midfielder, probably the third best defensive midfielder in the league. I would literally say Rodri, Basuma, and Polinia are probably the three best DMs in the league. But Polinia is not a great footballer. He's not a great footballer, and I think Liverpool are looking. You know, if you're going to pay, I think Drifty and Coppish said this yesterday. Big up Drift. I think if you're going to pay 70 million for a DM, you want him to be one of the best DMs around as an actual footballer. You know, and Polinia's not that. Big up Jamrock, who understands what I'm saying. Thank you very much, Jamrock. Anyone who doesn't understand the defensive-minded and mindset versus a defensive midfielder position is just weird. Big up Jamrock. I think he's understand what I'm saying, like about the McAllister situation, having that defensive mindset, having that defensive ability in our midfield that he's going to play, not just meaning he's going to be a number 6 eventually. Big up Jamrock. Now, Mickey might be up for one here. The Kone situation. So, apparently Liverpool was still interested in Kone before the transfer window ended. But the injury to Kone in the under-21 championships turned everyone off. That's why Kone never left to anyone. You know, no one came and bought him. And he's a player that is very much available. The right bid comes in for him. Now, he could be the one to look out for in January. I'm not sure about Thuram, because I think Thuram might go to Man United. But the Kone situation, for me, is one to look for, because he ticks all the boxes of what Klopp wants his number 6 to do, in my opinion. Kone ticks every single box on what Jurgen Klopp wants his number 6 to be. A forward-minded number 6, you know, with that forward-minded front, you know, get the ball, play it quickly, agile, quick, strong, athletic. I think that's the number 6 he's looking for. So look out for that one. Kone could be the one. Kone could be the one. Thuram, I think, could end up at Man United. Big up Ram. Lucas Garner. Aaron's. Yeah. The one I think Liverpool have shown more interest in out of all them is Fernandes, Ezequiel Fernandes. Liverpool have shown a big interest in him. Get him in January might be a bit difficult. He looks like a summer transfer to me. The other guys I'm not sure about. Lucas maybe. Lucas Granara maybe, but Ezequiel Fernandes definitely. Big up to you, man. Kone. Yeah, Kone's the one to watch out for, man. Yeah, Mac. Yeah. Liverpool no. Liverpool are no longer after Andre, my friend. Fernandes. And Kone Fofana. Fofana's an interesting one. Big up Mayday in the chat. Hope you're doing well. We heard Joe, honestly, we get Andre while we're messing around again. We're a joke, honestly, just get Andre while we're messing around again. We try to get him in the summer, my friend. See, this is what I spoke about. You might not admit, like, so the way Liverpool looked at it is completely different to the way us fans look at it. Liverpool decided to reject Andre back in the summer. Liverpool moved on from Andre in the summer. That is why there's been no news about Andre anywhere. You know, I remember a few weeks ago when people were talking about the Andre and Liverpool stuff has gone really quiet, like really quiet. And there's a reason it went quiet. Liverpool weren't no longer looking at him. Liverpool apparently no longer looking at Andre. So apparently the rumours is, my friend, big up to you. The rumours is that Liverpool went and bought. Liverpool were looking at Andre in the summer. Andre said he wanted to stay at Fluminense to try and win the cup and honour. Is it Dins, his manager? He wanted to honour his manager, yeah. So Liverpool said, okay, fine. But he said, come back for me in January. Fluminense said Andre is available to anyone in January, right? But Liverpool decided to move on in the summer and went and got Ryan Gravenberch and Wataru Endo. So Liverpool moved on from Andre in the summer. It's just us fans held on to it for 5 months. Us fans held on to it. Is that Buvko Kamara at Villa? I like David Luiz. What's his name? Douglas Luiz. I like Douglas Luiz at Villa. I mentioned Douglas Luiz last season and everyone had a go at me. I literally said Liverpool should go and try and get Douglas Luiz. I said this last season and everyone was like, nah, he ain't good enough, Joe. and now everyone's rating him. Mad, ain't it? I think Cruz should come into the Prem 5 years ago. I don't think he has the legs in the Prem now. Yeah, I'm with you. Ram, we all know that ain't going to happen. Look, this kid has got Real Madrid written on his forehead. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, but yeah. Cruz is old. I think Cruz is only 29. I don't think Cruz is that old. I think he's only 29. Everyone just thinks he's like in his mid-30s. I literally think Tony Cruz is only 29 years of age. He's just that he's played for so long. Yeah, he's 29. I believe he's 29. I don't think Tony Cruz is as old as everyone thinks he is. Big up for it. Yeah, Fernandez is the one. But I think that Liverpool are definitely interested in. Oh, is he 34? Why did I think he was 29? I don't know. Cruz turns 34 in January. Bloody hell, he's older than I thought. You know what? I haven't watched Real Madrid play in ages. And last time I watched Real Madrid play properly, Tony Cruz was 29. Bloody hell. He's older than I thought then. Don't know why I thought he was 29. Jesus Christ. He's born in 1990, yeah. He'll be 34 in this year. I thought he was younger than that. Yeah, he's 33. Don't know why I thought he was 29. He looks younger, that's why. Big up Tony Cruz. Great footballer, though. Great footballer. I only think now Endo will be our DM. I think so as well, man. I think so as well. He's in Saudi playing with Hendo, I think. Yeah, Polina he ain't mobile enough. He's a great DM, but he's not the footballer we need. Have you forgotten us chasing Lavia? Yeah, I said that at the beginning of the show, my friend. I personally think we never after him. His name was dropped to push Southampton into a deal. I think Liverpool were after him for the right price, but 60 million for him was just not the right price. Brozovic for me is not quick enough. Bittencourt the same. Douglas Luiz is the one. I like Douglas Luiz. I think Douglas Luiz would be perfect. Kone, that's the one to watch out for, in my opinion. Yeah, I know. Guna, is it? I can't pronounce his name. From Salzburg, he's the young kid who's playing really well at the moment. I really like him. Yeah, Kamara. If I'm going to Villa, I'm getting Douglas Luiz over Kamara, though. Ram. If Endo still doesn't work by January, that's when we might be forced to sign a DM. Also, depending on our league position. We got the K-Mac in the chat. No, it's 33. I don't know why I thought he was 29, man. It must have been a long time since I watched Tony Cruz play, you know. Don't know why I thought he was 29. No idea. Jesus Christ, Robin, chill out, man. Don't forget we've got Bajcetic coming through. Yeah, I think Stefan Bajcetic is Liverpool's long-term defensive midfielder. That's if Klopp sees him as a defensive midfielder, that is. But he might be Liverpool's long-term DM for the years to come, if he can get away from these injuries. My only problem with Stefan Bajcetic are these injuries he keeps seeming to pick up. Now, with Stefan, the injuries could be because he's a young lad who's growing, and that's why he's getting these injuries. You know, that can happen. It used to happen to Steven Gerrard when he was younger. You know, Gerrard suffered from terrible back injuries a lot because of his growth. because he was a late bloomer. And it could be the same thing with Stefan, guys. They're really good. His injuries could just be because he's growing and how young he is. You know, that'd be my only concern, because if you really look at it, maybe Stefan is the long-term defensive midfielder successor, and that's why he went and got Wataru Endo, who can play there for a couple of years. You know, while Stefan's coming through. Maybe that's what he's looking at. We don't know, guys. Like, none of us know. Let's face it. None of us have a Scooby. Being at Ishti with a super chat saying, "Am I wrong for thinking Kone is better than Andre?" No, you're right. For what we need, you're probably right, my friend. Big up to the super chat, by the way. Big up to the super chat. I just think he's physically weak, and that's what we're working on. Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, there's been a lot of lanky, skinny DMs in the past that don't look like a physical specimen and are tremendous. Look at Sergio Busquets, but he's the skinniest DM I ever seen for Barcelona, but arguably one of the best DMs of all time. So, you know, we've got to make, you know, stature ain't everything, but I think we do need to build up his strength Premier League wise. But if they do, I can't see why. I can't see why we wouldn't put him in. To be fair, maybe he's the long term successor. Maybe he's looking at Wataru Endo and thinking, you know, I got Wataru Endo in. I needed that experience. I like him as a defensive midfielder. You know, he's good value for money. I've got Gravenberch in here. I've got McAllister in here. I've got Szoboszlai in here. I've got Curtis Jones in here. I've got Harvey Elliott in here. I've got Stefan Bajcetic in here. And I've got Thiago in here. So maybe he just thought, you know, this one player would do. Maybe he just thought this one player would do. And I can slowly then bring up Stefan through the ranks. The only thing I can think of. Only thing I can think of. Let me just get my man K-Mac in here. He wants to come in and have something to say. K-Mac, I've sent you the link, man. I've sent you a link, my man. Get K-Mac in here. Skinny won't work in this league. Endo's 31 in Feb. That's all right. Age is not, you know, you don't look, to be fair to Wataru Endo, you don't look 31. So and he doesn't like physically look like a 31 himself anyway. So let's get K-Mac in there. How do you say?
How you doing?
Buddy, you all right?
Yeah, not too bad, mate.
People on social media are breaking down.
I said that about Andre, didn't I? That was never going to happen.
No, but if you look at the evidence now and what you read, and you look at the evidence, it does make sense that Liverpool moved on.
Yeah,
it does make sense because, you know, Liverpool. I think arguably Liverpool in the summer wanted Andre, McAllister, and Szoboszlai. I think they were their three main targets. They got two of them. Andre didn't come, so they decided to go and get Ryan Gravenberch. Now that Ryan Gravenberch deal, you look at it now. Ryan Gravenberch deal sort of come out and sort of nowhere late on in the transfer market, didn't it? And
yeah,
if you look at it now, it makes sense because they probably saw Andre as not a DM like we all saw him as. Maybe they did see him playing on that left-hand side of a midfield three like Thiago does, but with that defensive-minded quality like Thiago has as well, like McAllister has as well. And they saw Andre with that as well in his game and would be perfect for the balance of that midfield three. And they went and got Gravenberch instead. So, and on Wataru Endo. So, look, Am I peed off about it? No. Am I angry? Some people getting too upset about it. Like Andre was the greatest thing since sliced bread and all that. And as I keep saying, this is not a financial thing. Nowhere near, because Andre wouldn't cost that much. Wages wouldn't be a problem. So it's not a financial issue. It's that Liverpool learnt their lessons from last summer, I think, and moved on and got players in.
I think you're spot on. I mean, it's the fact that Andre's been on in the Copa Libertadores all the way through to the final and obviously won it.
Yeah,
That a lot of people are seeing him. Otherwise, you wouldn't even know who the guy was. And you haven't really got much to go on by the Argentine or the Brazilian leagues out there, really, because they're playing like 17-year-olds and like 18-year-olds in a lot of the games, which is crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I think we've got the better player in Gravenberch, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
He's got European experience. He's played Champions League. He's played at a much higher level. He's been around for a long time as well. And it looks like he's acclimatized to the Premier League quite well. Like, I've not seen him really have a bad game. You know, I don't think he's going to do a DM type role anyway. I don't think Andre was going to do that anyway. Otherwise, Klopp was going to put another peg in a round peg in a square hole again and try and get a guy to do a job which isn't suited to him, just like McAllister is. Like, the whole Endo thing, like, this guy just needs to play. Like, I've got some really interesting stats about Endo as well, just this season. Okay. So we played 11 games. In 6 of those games, we've conceded first. Okay. And we've lost 1 game this season and we've drawn 2 games. 2 games. Sorry, 3 games. In the games that Endo's played, he's come on the pitch when we've already conceded. Yeah. And that's in 2 games. And then we've gone on to win the games. That's not a bad stat to have under your belt as a DM. So he's come on when we've been losing and we've won. And we've been on 10 men as well in both those games. Okay. And the other games, when he's been on the pitch, we've won. So it kind of makes sense that we just play him as a DM because we've got better results with him in the team than we have out of the team. And the interesting thing about it as well is he's the only midfielder we've got who is actually suited to that position. Like, why would you carry on playing players that aren't suited to the position that you're playing them in? Endo is, and he also chips in with a few goals. Like, that's kind of what Fabinho did. Like, he didn't dominate the game. He was just there. He broke up play. He did the simple things well, and he nipped in with a goal every now and again. Like, that's what I want out of my DM. and he does that foul where he doesn't get booked a lot, and Endo does that foul that he doesn't get booked a lot. McAllister gets booked straight away.
Yeah, like, I've been saying
he really does. Like
a 1-game suspension already, and we're only in November is a bit of a worry.
Mate, he's on 5 yellow cards this season already.
That's what I'm saying.
He only got 8 for Brighton last season,
and he's on a suspension already. You know, he's got to keep getting bookings, and you know, if you get 10, I think you get a 2-game ban, don't you?
So at this rate, he's gonna clock up like a record, like 22, 23 yellow cards.
like I've been saying as well, like I think Liverpool do see McAllister as a defensive-minded player, but not as a number 6. They see him in the same way, like Wijnaldum when he was at Liverpool. We all know the Wijnaldum we bought from Newcastle is not the same Wijnaldum that played for Liverpool. We restricted him a little bit. He was a bit more defensively minded in our team, more than he was attacking minded, wasn't he? And that's what I keep meaning.
He was a left-sided attacker at Newcastle. He scored like 16 goals.
And I'm not worried about what Klopp made Gini Wijnaldum because it actually helped the team and it gave us a lovely balance in our midfield. And we went on to win Premier League and Champions League and got massive point totals and stuff like that. So I'm not. If it works, it works, and if it brings better balance to your midfield, I don't mind it. But when I look at McAllister, I do see in his game defensive-minded ability in his game, and that's why he's playing that 6 out of everyone at the moment. But you don't want him in the 6. What you want McAllister on the left-hand side, I think our balance in our midfield will retire Endo as the DM, McAllister on the left, and Szoboszlai on the right will be perfect. It'll bring beautiful balance because McAllister's got that genie in him, where he's got that more defensive minded game in him, where he can be a bit more restricted. You know, Endo can do the defensive midfield work, and then you got your attacking minded player, and Szoboszlai can get up and down. It brings beautiful balance because we spoke about it before. Szoboszlai for Liverpool has looked at his best when Curtis Jones plays on the midfield, and there's a reason for that. It's because Gravenberch and Szoboszlai want to do the same thing. They want to do the same thing. They want to run into the channels. They want to get in, but they want to support the striker. You know, they want to get in around the box. They want to do all their action there. Where Curtis Jones will be a bit more laid back. He will think about sitting back at times and holding on to the ball and allowing Szoboszlai to get into attacking positions. And that's what McAllister will do as well. That's what McAllister will do if he played on the left-hand side. So that's what I mean by defensively more minded. You know, I don't think we're going to see the McAllister that played for Argentina play for Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp, because that's not what he's got in mind for Alexis McAllister, in my opinion. K-Mac, don't know if you agree with that.
No, I agree with that. And just think of this as well as a balance. So you've got three midfielders. Yeah, you've got your left-sided midfielder who's more attacking, which is naturally what we play. Then you've got your central midfielder, which is like your DM, which is going to be more defensive. And then you've got your right-sided midfielder, which is going to be more of a box-to-box, up and down, covering for Trent as well in that hole, which he leaves behind. So you naturally got your right-sided midfielder there, which is Dominic Szoboszlai, does a great job. You know, absolutely fantastic. I mean, you could also put your Gravenberch in there because he has got the legs. Then your defensive midfielder would be Endo because it's natural. And then obviously McAllister as a backup. And then your left-sided, you've got McAllister and you've got Curtis Jones. And you've also got Gravenberch that can go in there. I mean, the interchangeable around those players is fantastic, and it really suits it well. I don't think Gravenberch and Dominic Szoboszlai should ever play together. I just don't. I see two identical type players in those two positions that kind of stifle each other's play out, because one's got to hold, one's got to go, and I don't think it's going to be the Gravenberch has got the mentality to be the guy that holds. He always wants to get forward. He always wants to get into the box. You know, a lot of people are kind of saying he's a bit of a Jude Bellingham Mark II, like, you know, a lower version of Jude, a cheaper version of Jude, which I think he is. I think he'll pop up with like 5 to 10 goals a season if he's allowed to get forward and do what he does.
Yeah, but you can't have him forward and Szoboszlai forward at the same time.
You can't.
That ruins the balance of our midfield.
And you can see that against Luton with McAllister. He was completely overrun.
Yeah, because
you got those two guys just wanting to get in the box and score.
And they're always when you watch replays of goal, when you always watch replays, McAllister and Szoboszlai are always on their running all the way back in position.
Always.
They're always so far up, you know, and you know, and that's what I do like about Curtis Jones. It goes underrated, the work he does in the midfield. The way it brings when Curtis Jones is available, he plays.
Do you know that Curtis Jones has got a 94% pass completion this season for Liverpool? Like, this guy is so underrated. He's so underrated.
If they're all available, Curtis Jones is playing in front of him.
He plays on the left, guaranteed. But the thing is, I want McAllister to play there.
Yeah.
And I want a DM.
The thing is, though, us saying this doesn't mean we think Curtis Jones is a better footballer than Gravenberch. That's not the case.
No.
It's the balance of the team.
Yeah.
Is the most important thing. You know, and for me, the last few games, Szoboszlai has struggled a little bit in the games when Gravenberch plays with him. Look, we got to get away with it. And some games you can play, like you can play McAllister, Gravenberch, and Szoboszlai in a lot of games, and they'll still play well and score goals and do things like that. But the go over your game where it just doesn't work so well in that midfield for the balance, depending who we're playing. But you know, if you played a more natural defensive midfielder in DM, you could probably get away playing Gravenberch and Szoboszlai a bit more together because you've got that more natural defensive-minded footballer in there, that DM who knows the role. But if you play, like McAllister almost wants to do is sort of what Szoboszlai and Gravenberch are doing as well. So it's very, it's got three very, very samey in that midfield. But if you put a proper DM in there, no, say Liverpool had Rodri, yeah? Say Liverpool had Rodri. Let's just put this out there. Say Liverpool had Rodri. You can play Gravenberch and Szoboszlai together, no problem.
Yeah,
because Rodri is that kind of DM that will allow them to go and do their thing, right? That's why City, when Rodri don't play, they completely miss him and can't win games the same way because their players are still doing the same thing they did, but they got no Rodri now. So they get a bit more overrunning midfield. It's not the same kind of thing. And, they're putting Matheus Nunes or Kovacic in DM roles where they're not DMs, so, like McAllister. So they're getting overrunning midfields when Rodri's not about. It's the same thing with Liverpool. So, at this moment in time,
do you think that is the downfall of the last 2 years is because we are still playing like we have got a prime Fabinho as a DM when we haven't?
Yeah,
because I feel that is just it. I can't put my finger on anything else, but it has to be either that or the inverted. But it was happening before the inverted.
Yeah, he's I think I look at it and think now that Klopp's always going to play the same way, no matter where one. And I think, to be fair, Pep plays the same way. Pep's philosophy is still the same. He hasn't changed his philosophy. He plays the same way. He just tweaks it, But if you look at Pep Guardiola's system at Man City now, still exactly the same.
He tweaked it with Grealish, didn't he?
He
tweaked it with Grealish and he's tweaked it with Haaland.
Yeah, he's just tweaking little things here and there. And if you look at Klopp, he's trying to do the same thing. Right, he's just trying to do the same thing. He's got a system that he wants to play. His system is counter pressing. He will not ever. He said it in the summer, in pre-season. As long as I'm manager, we'll always play counter pressing. That is the way I play, and the way I always will play. So you need players to play that way, like Pep. When Pep Guardiola came to Man City the first time, Leicester City won the league. I think City finished third that year. And then Pep Guardiola went and got the players he needed to play his system. He didn't change systems. He played the same system, got the players he needed, and the rest is history. With Jurgen Klopp, you've got to get the right players in for Jurgen Klopp to play his system. And this is why I keep saying that last season, it's why I always say Klopp's not a miracle worker. He's just a quality manager, a world-class manager with a system that needs the certain players to play that system. Same with Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola couldn't go to Stoke tomorrow and play the Man City system because it wouldn't work because he hasn't got the players. Doesn't mean he's not a miracle worker. Every manager plays a certain way, but needs players to play that way. And you look at West Ham. West Ham got some tremendous players in their team. Yeah, they should be doing better than what they are, but because David Moyes plays a certain way, it's restricting certain quality players in their team from doing their thing.
I agree.
So Liverpool are always going to play this way, and Liverpool are playing better this season because they got a Gravenberch in there, because they got a Szoboszlai in there, because they got a McAllister in there, because they got a fit Curtis Jones who can play now. So Klopp can play his system a little bit better, and that's where we are. We're never. I don't think we're ever going to play with a double pivot a lot. We might play it an occasion. But I think Klopp said himself he doesn't really play a 10 because you can't play a number 10 if you go play counter pressing because then you haven't got the bodies in midfield. So he's never going to play that 10 position. So it's always going to be that 3 across the midfield. And that's why I keep saying about McAllister. Klopp looks at him as a defensive minded player because it's what McAllister's going to play for Liverpool long term, ain't it, K-Mac?
Well, can I give you some stats on McAllister?
Yeah.
Okay, so these are more on the defensive side of things. So last year he played 35 games for Brighton. He was obviously playing in a number 8, number 10 role, but he made 70 tackles and he won 39 of them. So he's only got a 48% dual win ratio rate for Brighton. So he was never really a player that should have been signed for that side of the game, because that's not what he does. What he does is he scores goals. He scored 10 goals. He got 2 assists. He had 80 shots. He got 28 on target. He had 8 free kicks. He had 6 penalties, but his passing is phenomenal. 1,844 passes, 1,586 completed. That's an 86% ratio of complete pass completion for Brighton. That's why we signed McAllister. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
He committed
Exactly,
35 fouls and got 8 yellow cards last season for Brighton. So you can tell he's not a tackler. He's not very good at it, and he doesn't win a lot of them. Okay?
He's there
This
for ball
season
progression.
already.
That's what he's there
What's
for.
that?
Ball progression. He's there for ball progression. That's why Liverpool bought him.
Absolutely. I mean, this season, 713 passes, 625 completed. He's a monster on the ball and giving it to other people. But the problem is, where he is, this season, he's in the second and third phase of the pitch. So he's much further back in the team because he's around the defence or the middle of the midfield. For when he was playing the number 8, number 10 for Brighton, he's in the third or the fourth phase. So he's there to create more and create chances for people who then create chances for the strikers, if that makes sense. So he's the one before the player that assists, or the one before the player that passes it to the one who scores, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which is perfect. That's a really good position to be in. But he's not being played there for us right now. We've got Dominic Szoboszlai there, or Gravenberch, or Curtis Jones. And this guy stats are better than both of those.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he's got 5 yellow cards. He's committed 21 fouls already this season. He's got 5 yellow cards out of 21 fouls.
Yeah,
So that means his fouling is pretty borderline yellow card most of the time.
Yeah,
and he's only done 27 tackles and 15 of them have been won. So he's got a 47% ratio of losing the ball in his tackles. So he shouldn't be in the position that he's in. We're hamstringing our team and hamstringing McAllister where we're playing him. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, I'm not a coach and I'm not Klopp, but you have to be looking at the data going, this just isn't working with this guy. Like, why do we keep on persisting? He's not going to get any better. His numbers are getting worse. And he's now banned.
Yeah, this is what I keep saying. With McAllister, he just...
And I really like the guy as well, by the way. He's a really good player.
He's just not a number 6. But this is what I kept saying in my chat today about McAllister being a defensive-minded player. You can be a defensive-minded player and not play the 6th position. You know, that you don't have to... You know, he can play on the left-hand side. And one of what you said with the stats there, and what Liverpool looked at him in, is about his ball progression. You know, how quick he can be with his ball progression. How the tempo, he can change the tempo of the game. He can slow it down if he needs to. He can speed it up if he needs to. That's what Liverpool looked at McAllister for. But also that means, if he's going to play that role, if you're going to play that role in that ball progression and moving the ball and changing the tempo and controlling the tempo of the game, you have to sit back a little bit further. And that is why he plays a DM role for us right now, because Klopp don't see anyone else in our team who can do that, what McAllister does. And that's why he's playing the 6th role. So
I actually think there's 2 better players.
Even when we get Wataru Endo in there,
Endo or Curtis Jones.
I think Curtis Jones. The Brentford game is going to be interesting. The Brentford game's going to be actually tomorrow's game's going to be interesting, because tomorrow I think McAllister should play the 6th role tomorrow against Toulouse, because he's not playing the weekend.
Makes sense.
So McAllister plays the 6th role tomorrow against Toulouse, and then it'd be so interesting. I don't know if Curtis Jones is back. I think he just picked up a little knock. I don't know if he's in training or not.
I think
so. If Curtis Jones is back and available for the Brentford game, it'll be very interesting to see what Klopp does. You know, does he go with Taro Endo as a DM, Curtis Jones on the left and Szoboszlai on the right, or does he Does he go Curtis Jones in the DM role where he has played before, by the way? He has played there before. Does he go Curtis Jones in the DM role and Gravenberch on the left and Szoboszlai on the right? It's going to be very interesting. Big up, Mickey.
You know what I want to see? I want to see Curtis Jones on the left, Endo as a DM, and I want to see Trent on the right. And then I want to see Gomez as right back. I really want to see Trent in midfield, because if he don't start pulling his finger out, man, if he don't start performing, then honestly, I can see him dropping to the bench soon, because he is completely hamstringing our team right now. He's terrible. He's absolutely terrible right now. His stats are just so bad.
Who's that?
Like he's on par for 4 assists this season at this rate.
Well, that's because we're not.
It's got to be his worst season.
That's because we're not getting the best out of Trent, really, for the player he is. You know, I keep getting heat for this about keeping Trent at right back, and the only reason I say it is because if you want, we know what Trent's like defensively, yeah, but Trent won everything playing right back for Liverpool. You know, I mean that happened, guys. You know, Trent was playing right back when we won the Premier League, won the Champions League, got all these points. You know, challenging City, winning domestic cups. Trent played at right back.
Got to all those finals. Like
Trent
the Champions League final that we lost, the one which Courtois had an absolute worldie. Trent was unbelievable in that game. That was only one mistake.
By the way, the same people, Robertson on the left made a mistake by not blocking the cross. Everyone made a mistake for that goal.
Exactly. But he shoved Vinicius out for the whole game.
He
shut him out the whole game. And Vinicius was on fire that season.
And he just had one moment. Look at Trent against Brighton the other day when Matoma never got a kick.
Exactly.
And then Trent went off and Matoma came alive. You know,
he's got it in him.
He's definitely got it in him. But the reason I say keep Trent at right back is because he's world class at what he does in that position. He's world class at what he does going forward. You know, we don't play like that no more. You know, Robbo and Trent don't bomb down the wings anymore. They don't overlap us. When was the last time our fullbacks overlapped our wingers?
You know what? I talked about this, and it's something that really needs to be looked at. It's like we're not getting enough out of a Salah and a Diaz or a Gapco or a Jota on the left and the right hand side, because they haven't got anyone overlapping them. So they've always got the opposition's defenders in their faces, because they haven't got that player bombing on, which then gives them the space to then make it in. Like, it's not happening anymore. So everything's getting put into the centre, and the whole team is just so narrow now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I did a show on it. It's just
we play very.
That was the problem against Luton.
Yeah, we play very narrow. You know, Liverpool used to play
a narrow pitch as well, by the way.
Yeah, Liverpool's pitch is the smallest in the Premier League, I do believe.
Yeah, pitch.
Liverpool, at their best under Klopp, played wide. Robbo and Trent would run down the wide areas. And what would happen is that Liverpool used to double up in the wide areas. So you'd have Trent and Salah, Robbo and Mane. Bobby would come deep in that false 9 position, right? And then that would allow so much space in the midfield. And we don't play that no more. We don't play like that no more. We've changed the way we play, which is fine because teams are starting to work us out. So I don't mind you playing a different way and changing the way you play. I'm good with that. I really am. And at the moment, I suppose you've got to say it's working because we're only 3 points off the top new midfield. So I'll give it credit. But we just got to get used to playing a different way. We're not as exciting to watch maybe as we used to be. But with Trent, like I see Jeff's comments, big up Jeff. You know, what I will say, Jeff, Virgil weren't on Trent's side. That was Matip and Joe Gomez before that as well. But the thing is, what we've got to remember is that the midfield that Klopp won everything with was Milner, Henderson, Ox, and Fabinho and Gini. That was the midfield. You know, that was the midfield that won everything under Jurgen Klopp. Robbo and Trent were the fullbacks, getting forward, creating loads of assists. and being world class at what they do, and then we had that tremendous front three. But we're very good defensively, even with Robbo and Trent continuously bombing forward, and Matip and Virgil as the main centre backs. We were still very good defensively because of that midfield cover. You know, I know people were saying, what does Curtis Jones do? Why is he in the team? It brings balance to the midfield, a bit like Jordan Henderson. It's very similar to Jordan Henderson. Jordan Henderson was not a quality footballer, but he brought so much balance to the midfield that helped Fabinho and Winal and Gini and things like that, that we're excellent in that area. I always said it. Under Jurgen Klopp, we've never really had a world-class midfield. What does everyone call our midfield under Jurgen Klopp? Workhorse midfield. They don't call it a world-class midfield. It's the workhorse midfield, and that's what I think Klopp is trying to go back to now.
But this midfield could be world-class, mate.
Just with better players.
Really good.
Trying to go back to it now with better players at a higher level, you know. So they got to do what them three did before, but just at a higher level, you know, with more ability.
They've also got more tool bag. Like Henderson wasn't a 30-yarder type of guy. Like Gini wasn't either. But these two got goals in them. If he played Trent at right back, like a proper right back, like he did before, and you've got Dominic Szoboszlai on his side, who's got the engine of Henderson, and you've got a good DM, not McAllister or Endo. I mean, a good DM like a Basuma or, you know, one of those guys who can really put a shift in. Douglas Luiz, I hear you saying as well. You know,
I like
Gimenez, one of those type of guys. Even Sangari, who plays for Forest. Like, look how well Forest are doing now. Now they've got him as a DM. Just one of those type of guys who's just going to do the grunt work. Then I could see us really, really flying. Like really flying. And you've got Canate on that side then. You've got Gomez, you've got Matip. You're absolutely fine for central defenders.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
Put Trent where he's good at, being Trent. It helps Salah as well.
Yeah. I agree. And Jeff, we're agreeing with you. We know Trent's got defensive liabilities. He always has done. Trent's defensive liabilities have not changed since he first came to Liverpool till now. I don't think Trent's got really that much better as a defender between his debut for Liverpool to today. I really don't. He might have improved a little bit, but he's not like developed a massively, the man, in that defending area. But the reason Liverpool got targeted down that right-hand side is because they know Trent is the weakest defender of the four. And plus, Liverpool's midfield all of last season was no good anymore. So Liverpool got exposed. That's why Liverpool changed the way they want to play now and don't have these roaming fullbacks no more and getting Trent inverted. Because, look, Trent's tremendous on the ball. So if you got to do any of the players inverted, he's got to be Trent because he's so good on the ball. It makes sense. But you're not going to get Trent numbers like you used to with Trent in the fullback area, if that makes sense. Like Trent picking up space. Trent has no space in the midfield. Trent having all that space in the right back area is what made Trent an amazing footballer. That's what made Trent get these stats, get these, you know, these assists, these goals, and all this sort of came from that right hand area because he'd have freedom. You know, Mo's playing. The reason Mo is playing so wide now is because he doesn't have a fullback that overlaps in him anymore. So Mo's getting a more assist now because he's playing wider. If Trent went back to being a fullback that went down the wing and overlapped, Salah would be more inside.
So Salah would get more goals.
Yeah.
And Trent would get more assists. It makes sense.
Salah's doing taking Trent's assist numbers now because Salah's a wider footballer. You know, he's not an inside. Salah's actually a winger now, more of an inside forward. He's back to being what he used to be, a winger more than an inside forward. If you want Salah to be an inside forward again, you need Trent at fullback to get running down the wide areas that pushes Salah inwards.
And that's probably why Núñez is having more chances, which he's missing.
Because we're opening up. That is the whole reason for it. The whole reason we're playing this way is to benefit Darwin long run. You know, and if you think about it, if Darwin was putting away his chances, it would actually be working. In theory, it would be working, and we're sitting here. Look, it's working now, to be fair. We're 3 points off the top of the league. We're level on points with Arsenal. Everyone told us this season that Arsenal will go dominate the Premier League with Man City. You know, Liverpool will go struggle for top four because they got a brand new midfield. So to be fair to the manager, to be fair to the coaching staff,
we're the only team
working.
that's beat Newcastle, by the way, out of the top 5.
Yeah, at their ground, ain't it?
And that was Darwin Núñez.
Yeah. So it is working. It is working, guys. It is working. But do I want Trent inverted? Probably not. Would I prefer him as a right back, going back to doing what Trent used to do? Yeah. That's just mine, K-Mac's opinions. But everyone's welcome to their own, man. Everyone's welcome to their own.
I've got to shoot, mate, but it's been great chatting with you again, all right?
No worries, man. I'll talk to you later.
I've got to get back to work.
Go for it. Get back to work, man.
See you later.
Stop slacking off. And that's why I can't argue with it. Like Angel said in the chat, you know, I can't argue with Trent being inverted right now. I can't. That's what I'm saying. It's working. It's working, so I can't argue. I can't argue it. Angel's right, and I don't particularly like it, Angel, if that makes sense. But at the end of the day, if it works, it don't really matter, does it? It doesn't matter what Jamie Phillips thinks. If it's working, what's it matter? I personally don't like it because we're more exposed in that right-hand side because Konate's got to shift across all the time to come over. That means Szoboszlai has to be a bit more defensively minded at times in the right central midfield area. See, I don't think Szoboszlai is going to get the goals everyone thought he was going to get at Liverpool. You know, I remember when we signed Szoboszlai and everyone was saying, right, Szoboszlai's going to get like 10, 12 goals, 10, 12 Premier League goals every season because he's a goal scoring midfielder. If you're playing Trent inverted, Szoboszlai can't be a goal scoring midfielder for Liverpool in that case because he is going to have to cover Trent's position when Trent comes into midfield. You're going to have to make sure we're not defensively naive on the right-hand side of our pitch and just leaving massive gaping holes constantly. That's why I'm saying you put Trent at right back and let Trent just do what he does in an attacking sense. Then you'll be able to get Szoboszlai further up the field. Bloody, you get FDM in, you get McAllister on the left, and you have that more shape to our team, that more balance to our team. And that's why that's why I'm saying I think we're doing extremely well this season, and I don't think the balance of our team is right. And we're doing that well with no balance in our team. You know, we got our left back, because Trent goes inverted, our left back becomes a centre back. So we got no fullbacks bombing forward. Then Szoboszlai has got to be sometimes box to box because he has to defend in Trent's area of the pitch if Trent goes inverted and is caught out of position. You got McAllister playing the number 6 role. You got Salah really wide on the pitch because he hasn't got a fullback to overlap him no more. So if you think about it, actually, we're quite unbalanced. We're quite unbalanced and we're still winning games of football. So imagine when we get more balanced, we could become unstoppable. Think of it like that. I'm putting positives on this. And that's what I'm saying. I don't like the way we're playing, but I can't complain, like Angel said, because we've only lost one game, you know, since we've done this inverted role. I don't like the tactic, but it's working. So it's really hard to moan about it. You know? That's all it is. You know, that's what I'm trying to get at. I think everyone in the chat understands what I'm trying to say. I believe you are trying to understand what I'm trying to say, chat. So big up to you guys. It's just not balanced. I think we can all see that our team at the moment is a bit unbalanced. But somehow in 25 matches, we've only lost one game. So it's working. So can you imagine how good we could be if we got our team balanced? That'd be exceptional, wouldn't it? That'd be absolutely exceptional. Then we're flying. Then we're like, it's Liverpool, Man City every year. You know, we're just a couple of players short. Really are just a couple of players short of being a perfectly balanced 1 to 11. And then it's us and Man City every year, without a shadow of a doubt. No one comes near you. Jamie, we're still in process of a rebuild. This is a finished article. We'll be monsters in a year or two. That's what I'm saying, Mac. That's what I'm saying. You know, we're in this process. Our team is still a little bit unbalanced, and we're doing this well so far. When we get these players in, we come a more balanced side. Jesus Christ. It's going, you know, you can imagine it right now. It'd be amazing. We got Mike in the chat. How you doing, man? Not getting a 6 and 7 back is a disgrace. This is why we need a proper sporting director like Max Urbury. Or Mike, was it? You know, I've been told in my comments after the FSG apology video, which was satire that no one sort of understood. But I got told in my comments after that this is all down, you know, the reason we got Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, McAllister and all these players and we're playing well again was all down to Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp told the transfer team, told the scouts what players to go and get, and then they went and got them. You know, so if that's the case, who's it down to? Because we have got a DM. People might not like it, but Wataru Endo is a defensive midfielder. I keep saying this. It reminds me of when we had no defenders and we played midfielders in the centre back roles, and then Klopp eventually bit his tongue and put Reece Williams and Nat Phillips as centre back to Liverpool that were not good enough for Liverpool long term. They're not good enough, but because they did that, we went on like an 11-game unbeaten streak, winning 8 of them and drawing 2 or something like that. Something mad like that, beautiful, and got into 3rd in the Premier League out of nowhere. So you play Endo, who might not be the best player in the world and shouldn't play for Liverpool. Everyone's comments are on him. But because he knows the role, straight away you bring more balance to the midfield. Then you can play McAllister on the left-hand side. You can play Szoboszlai on the right-hand side. You can have Wataru Endo as a defensive midfielder. Straight away you got more balance in your midfield. Straight away you got more balance there. Big up Trindade, exactly, man. That's what I'm saying, first of all. That's what I'm saying. You just need that one player. That's what I'm saying. Our team's unbalanced at the moment, and we're only 3 points behind you guys. So if we had a more balanced team right now, could you imagine? It'd be back to the City Liverpool ways again, completely. Yeah, I agree, Mike. Mike, I agree with you, man. I totally agree with you. I'm just hoping Klopp's got a DM lined up. Nobody knows about if Andre's a no-go. Yeah, at the moment, we're all going what David Lynch has said on Twitter today. And look, David Lynch, to his credit, is a very, very good journalist and does, you know, he does get a lot right. I've seen him put things out before which people didn't agree with, and then other people come out after and said, no, it ain't happening. So we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what's going on. Do we even think Andre's a Liverpool? Does anyone here think Andre is seen as a DM for Liverpool though? Does everyone see? Do you think Klopp sees Andre more as a left-sided midfielder, a bit like Thiago? Because when Thiago plays for Liverpool, you know, he usually plays on the left-hand side of a midfield three. Is that what you saw in Andre? Did us fans only see Andre as a defensive midfielder? Remember, there was a lot of people saying on the live chats, in my chat especially, and some other chats saying that, you know, Andre's not a number 6, and then some people saying Andre is a number 6. We won't know. We won't know till it happens, to be fair. And you are right. It could still happen yet. The Andre deal could still happen. But that don't mean he's going to come in and play the DM role. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't mean he's going to come in and play the DM role. It's none of us know what's going on. Let's face it. None of us know what's going on. We definitely need that new director. We definitely need that new director. There's no doubt about that. Although I will give it up the big George Smack. You know, he had a hard job to do. Let's give him a little bit of credit here. You know, our whole midfield got annihilated in one summer, and he pretty much rebuilt it in the same summer. So I've got to give him a little bit of credit. You know, we sold most of our midfielders this summer, and he brought 4 midfielders in. So got to be fair to him a little bit. Be up, Frank, in the chat. Hope you're all doing good. Be it honesty. Jamie, one thing we can say is wait till Chan and maybe Liverpool have saying. Yeah, I think so. For everyone who's just joined in, this is my situation on it. Looking at all the facts I've read today, I've read through everything, and I can see with my own eyes as well. So this is what I think's happened. Liverpool wanted Andre, McAllister, and Szoboszlai in the summer. They're the 3 they went for. I know they went for Lavia and Caicedo as well. I think the Caicedo thing was just Billy Hogan doing his own thing. I don't think that's what the club really wanted. And the Lavia situation, I think they wanted Lavia, but they weren't willing to pay 60 million for an unproven footballer. So I don't mind that, right? But they wanted Andre. Andre said no because he wanted to stay at Fluminense. Then Fluminense said he's available in January. He wants to play out this season. Our season finishes, I believe, the 7th of December. We're willing to do business in January. You can get him for around 25, 30 million, yeah? Liverpool learnt their lessons and went, we can't wait till January. We need players in now. They went and got Ryan Gravenberch and Wataru Endo. They went and got them 2 players in. So Liverpool learnt their lessons that they couldn't wait around. You know, they couldn't just go and get Gravenberch and, you know, they needed players in because they sold Fabinho, they sold Henderson, you know. These players went out the door. So they needed to go and get players in. And for me, they did the right thing. They did the right thing. Now, does that also mean, did they see Andre as a defensive midfielder? Or was it just us fans, considering we all thought Andre was a number 6? And remember, a few weeks ago, the Liverpool and Andre stuff went really quiet. Really quiet. And if the case is the truth, like what they're saying right now on social media and that, is that, you know, Liverpool have turned their attentions away from Andre, then they did it in the summer. They turned their attentions away from Andre in the summer and went and got Gravenberch and that. It's not a financial thing because anytime Liverpool decide not to go for a player, everyone just brings, oh, FSG just being cheap. It's like, come on. Maybe the football club decided to move away and look at other alternatives. And the fact is, anyone we bring in might actually be more expensive than Andre. You know, I'm just putting it out there. So it might not, it's not a financial thing. Andre wouldn't have been that expensive and his wages wouldn't have been that much either. So, yeah. It's not always about expense. It's not always about expense. It's about getting the right player. Polina, he's 27, 28 years of age. He's going to cost 70 to 80 million. If Liverpool go to spend 70 to 80 million on a defensive midfielder, they're not going to spend it on a 28-year-old. They're going to get that for a 23, 24-year-old who then's got a long career at Liverpool. So I don't think they're going to do that with Polina. Plus, I don't think Polina is a good enough footballer. That might sound stupid. He's a tremendous defensive midfielder, but I don't think he's a good enough footballer for what Jurgen Klopp wants as a number 6. Jurgen Klopp wants a ball progressing midfielder. He wants a ball progressing number 6. That's not Polina. So there's no point buying a player that won't suit what the manager wants him to do. And then he tries to make him something he really ain't. And you can't really make Polina something you're really not when you're 27, 28. Don't make much sense. So yeah, I don't. No, not for me. He suits Bayern Munich more because the way Bayern Munich play, he suits them more. So I can understand why Bayern want him. But for Liverpool's point of view, under Jurgen Klopp, if it was another manager, maybe. But under Jurgen Klopp, I don't think Jurgen Klopp wants a Polina. I'd be surprised if they went and got him. I wouldn't be upset by it. I'd love Polina at Liverpool. You know, just being a defensive midfielder. I don't care if he can't pass or shoot or run with the ball. Just smash people. Yeah, that's all I care about. But I think Jurgen Klopp wants a ball progressive midfielder. You know, that's why Rodri's so good. That's why Rodri is so good because he's a ball he can get the ball and progress with the football. He can move it forward. He can pass really well. He can take players on. He can run with the ball. You know, he can progress that ball forward nicely. He's not just a destroyer in midfield. That's why he's so good at it. That's why he's the best in the world. I think that's what Klopp's looking for. Are you doing a panel show this week, Jamie? What's the day today? Wednesday. Yeah, I'll try and do one for Friday. Yeah, Atletico Madrid got some good players. It'd be. That's what I'm saying. See, we're sitting about Rodri loses games because this is what I was saying earlier, Lee, on my show earlier. That what's so important about this number 6 position is that I've been saying it for a while. I don't think Liverpool play at their best with Gravenberch, McAllister, and Szoboszlai because McAllister and Szoboszlai want to both do the same thing. They want to join the attack. They want to try and get goals or assists. They want to join the attack. That's what they want to do. And it brings a bit of unbalance in your team. And Man City's midfield, if you look at Man City's midfield, apart from Rodri, all the other midfielders want to join the attack. So if you take Rodri out of that midfield, whoever comes into that DM position, be it a Kovacic or a Nunez or anything like that, they're nowhere near as good as Rodri. They're not really defensive midfielders, which means they can get caught on. And it's the same as Liverpool right now. That's why this DM role is so... No, it's got nothing to do with that, Frank. Frank, I love you, man. I really do. But your hatred for FSG blinds you a little bit. It's got nothing to do with that, my friend. It's got nothing to do with that. I love you, Frank. But this is my problem with everyone's blind hatred for FSG. It's not actually about that. It's about the fact that we walked away from him because we weren't willing to wait till January. We needed midfielders this summer. And we went and got midfielders this summer. We got 4 midfielders in. We didn't want to be caught short. You know, they've already said it. Andre wanted to stay at Fluminense this summer. Liverpool couldn't afford to wait till January for him. So they went and got Ryan Gravenberch. Why do you think Ryan Gravenberch was such a late transfer deal, guys? Guys, why do you think Ryan Gravenberch was such a late transfer deal in the summer? It's because Andre weren't willing to come this summer. Liverpool kept pestering, see if he would come. He said no. So they went and got Gravenberch in. They learnt their lessons, man. I'm not saying FSG are perfect or anything, but our blind hatred for FSG ruins what we're seeing. Andre is cheap. You know, he's FSG quality signing because he's cheap. He wouldn't cost that much. His wages wouldn't be that much. He's a perfect FSG signing. But Liverpool moved away. We don't need too many of the same player. We went and got Ryan Gravenberch instead. And for me, Ryan Gravenberch is probably a better player. You know, Ryan Gravenberch is probably a better player. So, but it's interesting. But big up to Frank. Make sure, guys, you go and subscribe to Frank Carlisle Show. Go and get his numbers up, my friends. What is Frank on right now, guys? Any mods in the chat? Make sure you get Frank's channel up there. Let me just go on Frank's channel. Hang on, Frank. 1 second. Go and check out my man Frankie Baby over on his channel. He's man, he's a history buff as well. If you like your history, Make sure you go and check him out, man. Liverpool history. He's on 364 subscribers right now. Let's try and get Frank to 400 subscribers if we can. I'd love that. Frank, you got to sort out your homepage, my man. You need to sort out your homepage. I can help you with that, Frank, if you want. You need to sort out your homepage. Because all your videos are just on your live and there's nothing on your homepage. So it doesn't look like you've got any content. So I can help you with that if you want, Frank. But yeah, go and check Frank out. Let's try and get him to 400 subscribers if we can. So some mod, please put his channel up on the thing. He's a Liverpool content creator, does everything Liverpool. He also does a lot of history as well. If you know into your history, talks about the history of Liverpool and stuff like that. He's a great guy. Go and check Frankie out. We need a DM. Legs like Fabinho, you know. Yeah, Fabinho, look. Fabinho was quality for about 3 years. I just want to go say Fabinho. Big ends in the chat. No worry, Frankie. Anthony Sancho playing Champions League football tonight. Rashi, I won't get too used to that, though, my friend. No way, Frank. I'll sort you out, man. But yeah, that's my whole take on this Andre situation. I'm not actually down in the dumps about it. I'm feeling quite positive as a Liverpool fan right now. I'm looking at it and thinking our midfield is a little unbalanced at the moment. But as soon as we get better players in, as soon as we get 1 or 2 extra additions that actually fit a certain place, team's going to be even better. I'm positive. If I'm looking at it and thinking we didn't sign Andre because he didn't want to come to Liverpool in the summer, we moved on quickly and went and got Wataru Endo and Gravenberch in, I can't be too upset about it. I can't sit here and pretend I've seen Andre play like a lot of people. I think a lot of people watched the final on the weekend, and that might have been the only time they've seen Andre play. So I can't be sitting here. The Jude Bellingham thing got me down because everyone's watched Jude Bellingham play and knows how good he is. But I've never watched Andre play, so I can't sit here and go, it's a massive loss, you know, because I've never seen him play. He might be good, but is he better than Ryan Gravenberch? For me, probably no. So don't bother me. Look, if we go and get him, if his story's not that true, and David Lynch has got his wires crossed a bit, or Liverpool are just feeding him something so it puts the scent off, and we go and buy him still, I'll be happy with it because it's another player we get in. I'm good. Jamie, it's time we pass FSG blame when we're not able to identify things that are worthy of SG, which is not. Come on, guys, apply some critical thinking, please. Yeah, it's what I'm saying. Andre is a perfect FSG signing. And if we're not going for him, I don't think he's got anything to do with financial issues. And I'm not sitting here and saying FSG are perfect. They're not. You know, I want them. If they sold the club tomorrow, I'll be the happiest man in the world. I just don't think everything always comes down on them. You know, I've never seen a team that blames their owners for absolutely everything all the time. It gets a bit mad to me. It gets a bit mad to me. I've always said it. You know, the greatest teams of all time in football history, everyone talks about the managers, never the owners. So, you know, I mean, the greatest AC Milan teams of the history in the 70s and 80s and early 90s, no one ever spoke about the owners. They spoke about the players and the manager. Liverpool, everyone spoke about Shankly, Paisley, Dalglish. Everyone spoke about the owners. It's the players and managers. They're the front and full. You know, Man United at their absolute best. It was all Alex Ferguson. Alex Ferguson run that football club. Now, we're the only club that just moan about our owners constantly. It drives me mad. But big up to everyone in the house. I hope you're all good. Don't forget to go and subscribe to my man Frank. I think Enzo's in the chat as well, so make sure you go and check him out as well. Guys, I'll be back tomorrow for a match preview for the game. So make sure you join me tomorrow afternoon. Thank you very much for everyone joining me today. Appreciate the love. Let's keep our eyes open and see what happens on this Andre situation. But as it right now, I'm not worried. I'm not bothered at this moment in time. But big up to everyone. Stay positive. Stay good.